Rey Paez. How are you, man?
Good, good. Very good.
Good deal. It's been a while since we've seen each other face to face.
I think I was thinking about it, and I think it was the first reimagine, right?
Yeah, with Noah
Yeah,
out
with
in
Noah.
Orange County there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
was
had to be
2014.
2014. Wow, over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good time. Met quite a few people there that I've been
mhm.
able to stay connected to, and you're being one of them. And I
Yeah,
definitely appreciate you coming on the podcast and opening up and allowing us to share your story with the community on a
yeah,
broad
of course,
spectrum.
of course. Yeah, no, that I think that the biggest takeaway from that whole community that we were a part of,
Yeah,
I think was like the connections that we made with like people, I feel.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me give a brief introduction for you here for the audience. Um, you are a LA-based creative with a distinct aesthetic, known for your bold lines, nostalgic themes, and rebellious energy. You've carved out a unique space in the LA art scene. You're a self-made illustrator with a lifelong passion for cartoons and comics, which fueled your journey from childhood sketches to a thriving career in professional illustration. You've been featured in iconic art books where your illustrations appear in official art books for major franchises like Stranger Things and Star Wars, cementing your place in pop culture illustration. You're a creative collaborator with top brands such as Tops, Knott's Berry Farm, Fox, and Cakeworthy, bringing your bold, cartoon-inspired style to a wide audience. You're an authentic voice in the art community, and you actively connect with fans and fellow artists on platforms like Instagram, sharing both your creative process and your personal growth. That is quite the resume.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You've it's been cool for me um since we first met. It's been cool watching the the transitions of your styles
hmm
and how you've moved and navigated that. Just from an outsider perspective, it's been very cool to watch that and that
Thank you,
growth.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I look back at like my Instagram
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, like the topics that I've chosen to like illustrate or even like the I guess like my skill. Like I mean, I always hope that I'm trying to improve my skills, you know.
yeah,
So seeing even my own growth, I'm like, wow, like that's a trip.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I get it. I when I look back on some of my early designs and stuff like that, I'm like, holy crap, I've come a long way myself with different
Mhm.
skill sets. And even at this point, there's a whole bunch of stuff I still don't know with like Photoshop or Illustrator.
But
Sure.
I think that's like a healthy way of being, right? Like
Yeah,
I feel like there's certain people that just kind of go like, this is where I'm at, and like they just kind of stay there, and
yeah,
that's cool if it works for them. But for me, I'm like, I always want to acknowledge the stuff I don't know
yeah.
and possibly get better, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And what's cool too now with social media, as big as it is you get to watch other artists and a lot
Yeah.
of the people that are doing technique videos and stuff like that. It's like, oh, that'd be cool if I could just remember that and
Yeah,
apply
yeah.
it over here.
hmm
Save those.
Yeah, there's so much content out there now, like so much, like it's even from like, like 20, like 13 or whatever till
Yeah,
now, it's gotten so massive how anybody could pick up like a tablet and just create, you know?
yeah,
It's crazy.
for sure, for sure. So what I'd like to do today is just kind of run through your life story. So
Mhm.
the audience gets a feel for who you are as an
Mhm.
individual. So we'll start off with my only scripted question, and
Okay.
it is, where were you born, and what was life like as a kid for Ray?
Okay. Okay. So I was born in LA County, East LA County to be exact. Um, and you know what? Growing up, I always feel like, and it's slightly unfortunate because I feel like a lot of my friends don't have like the same upbringing, I guess.
Yeah,
I was very uh I was very like not I guess nurtured or like I wasn't told not to do something when it came to like creative stuff, even
gotcha.
even from being like super young.
Yeah,
Um, so like my upbringing was very supportive. There you go. Also, a major part of me is I was born with spina bifida, so I always had issues with my like walking and my back, and I always felt like I was never meant to, or I was never made to feel different. I always
okay.
had support. I always, I guess I had like a strong foundation.
Yeah,
So like going to school, like, was always like, to me, even if there was some negativity, it was always positive for me. It was always fine. I was always, well, I always handled things well.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so growing up, I always think of everything very fondly. Um, one thing that I'm a big fan of is like 80s, like the 80s, which is the time I was born. I was born in 1982.
Okay,
Um, and so I just remember a bunch of positive things. Like I remember going to the local like liquor store and getting Garbage Pail Kids and loving like the artwork on the cards.
right.
Um, watching Ren and Stimpy. Behind me, I have like a whole collection of like little anything I find Ren and Stimpy, I gotta grab it. So I always remember. I remember like my memories are always are about a lot of like pop culture stuff.
Cool.
I remember like Ren and Stimpy, a bunch of shows. I love sitcoms. Um, and I always remember being inspired by even from like super young, even though like I might have been like 5, 6, 7. I always remember being like so drawn to it and so like inspired by it. And of course, I think that like most of us as kids, we start off drawing. Like I don't know a
Yeah,
kid that
yeah,
doesn't like pick up a crayon or something.
right.
So I always remember that from super young, just drawing things, whatever it was, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so like I mean I grew up more in the like the suburbs of LA County.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, very, very positive, very I don't know. To me, my childhood was pretty cool. Like
Seem
I have
normalized.
yeah, yeah. I like my parents were always like, yeah, like do your thing, keep drawing, keep, doing what makes you happy. And I do feel even till this day, I feel like art and drawing is like an escape for me. As a kid, um I would just get lost in it. Like I would just get lost in the details. Obviously, I mean, I was a kid, so like it wasn't too detailed, but like whatever it was for me at that moment,
Yeah,
um, I would just get lost in it for like hours and hours and hours. And I loved it. Until this day, I still like whether I'm working on clients, I have to always go back to something for fun, just for me,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Um,
definitely. What type of work did your parents do?
so my dad, when he's always been in the restaurant business.
Okay.
Um, like a quick thing, he started he when he came here, he started. My dad's from Mexico, and when he came here, after being with my mom for a while, like them dating for a while,
Mm,
they met in Mexico. My mom's from here,
okay.
um, and he moved here. He started working for El Pollo Loco, which is like I don't know
Yeah,
if it,
yeah, I've heard of it.
okay, so he started working there. Anyways, long story short, he kind of like progressed and all that, and then he ended up moving to Michigan and opening up 2 restaurants of his own in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my mom's always been since I was born, worked for Southern California Edison, the electric company.
All right.
So yeah, so that's what they did.
Right on. Where in Michigan did he open the restaurants? Because that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. He opened one in Rochester,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I forget the other one. They're called Miguel's Cantina.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
Okay.
I'm probably about 20 minutes away from Rochester.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to visit him when because so he recently retired about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So he sold the restaurants. They're still open. They're still
Yeah.
there. But he sold he sold it. He sold them. But I used to go visit like once a year, like all the time.
Right
So
on.
yeah.
Right on. So did your dad just have that entrepreneurial spirit, or was he into the cooking aspect of the restaurants?
I feel like he was more into the entrepreneurial side of things
Okay.
because I mean he does like he did like to cook and all that, but I think that like in Mexico he was he got into the restaurant business there.
Yeah.
Um and I feel like a lot of my family members from Mexico are also in that field.
Okay.
And I think he just came here and it was what he knew.
Yeah.
So he just had like that hustling kind of mentality, like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Um, Kind of like a side note, he was always a super like hard worker. Like work was the most important thing ever.
Yeah.
And well, like gosh, maybe like 8 years ago now at this point, maybe a little bit longer, he had a heart attack. And it kind of changed his whole outlook on things. Because
Yeah.
my dad was the kind of person that work was like a priority kind
Right.
of thing. He was work at a certain point, like I mean, he would even get like phone calls all the time, like while we were hanging out. And like him and my mom haven't been together for years. And his wife was kind of like, you know what, like when we're family time, you gotta like not be on the phone all the time. He was that much of a like worker, right? And once he had like the heart attack and all that, it was like the first thing that has ever happened to him that was like a major thing.
Yeah.
He it kind of changed his outlook. He kind of was like, you know what, like yeah, we need to work, like obviously we need to work, and it's a necessity.
Yeah.
He also said like, man, like there's more to life than just like always working,
Yeah.
you know.
Life can end pretty quickly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is that's a thing that it does that to a lot of people that experience those types of situations health wise. It makes them kind of reassess, you know,
Hmm.
what are the important things, and you know, I may not have the length of time I thought I had.
Yeah, you thought you had. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like I feel like he always had the mentality because I remember right before he had it, he ended up opening up two restaurants.
Okay.
And right before that, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna open up more. Like we're getting like we're getting like they're doing good, so we're thinking of opening up more. We're gonna start designing the restaurants, all this stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, cool." And then once it happened, he was like, "You know what? Like, I don't want to open up more. I'm good." Like,
Right.
like I was like, "Wow, okay." Like, oh, it was such a flip because I'm used to my dad. Oh, like that work was everything. Work was everything.
Yeah.
And just to see that like switch was like, "Whoa, what a trip!" Like, who is this? You
Right.
know?
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Did you have any siblings?
Yes. So I have two brothers and one sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and where do you fit in the age range?
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's my two brothers, are my two younger brothers, and then my sister, she's from my dad and his wife. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Okay. So at some point your parents
Hmm.
split or
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out in school because you had uh the um the condition that you had, the spina
Hmm.
bifida,
Hmm.
was it difficult to go to school at all, or were you going to a specialized school?
No, 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 no. It was, it's funny. It's funny that you say that because no, like physically fine. I went to community college then and like stopped that for a while, then went back to school later. Um, no, as far as physically, no, but I've always felt like and this is purely me, not clinically diagnosed, but I've always felt like I do have some kind of like learning disability.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is it's so hard for me to hold on to information. For example, like I love documentaries. I'm a big like Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I love The Mandalorian. I love movies, right? But the thing is that if I could watch a movie right now, enjoy the heck out of it. Afterwards, if you tell me like, oh, so what about this part? And I was like, oh shoot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know why I can't grasp certain information sometimes. So in school, I remember being like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to the teacher right now. I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna like focus. And I'd be like focusing for like 2 seconds, and then my brain just goes like, okay, what's that color over there? Or what's that over there?
Right.
And it's funny because like during conversations, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But when I'm being like in a lecture or something like that, where you're
Right.
just taking information in, I'm so bad. So bad. So that's one thing I did struggle with in school was the aspect of grasping like information. Yeah.
Retention. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, exactly.
I was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I was never able to retain. And for me, even, I've always had um, a reading comprehension issue
Mm.
where I can read a sentence, right? And then go to the next sentence and
Hmm.
realize almost to the end that I'm rereading the exact same sentence.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
So for whatever reason, my mind doesn't trigger the transition
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
throughout the sentences. And the same thing with paragraphs. I can read a paragraph and then end up forgetting what I just read because my mind went somewhere else.
I was just gonna say that.
And I have to go back in and reread uh,
Hmm.
just to remember what that storyline was.
To this day, if I have like, I don't know, something important from like the DMV or insurance or something,
Yeah,
like I have to have someone else read it too, because I'm like, did I miss something? Because
right.
I could read the whole thing,
Yeah,
but I'll be like, my mind will be somewhere else,
for sure.
completely somewhere else. And I hate it. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it definitely can be. But two, I think there's a lot of creatives out there who
Hmm.
are like that just because of the fact that the flow of ideas are
Hmm.
constantly coming
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So things that are would be kind of a static
Hmm.
image or thing that you have to pay attention to doesn't really draw the interest for us to focus on it.
Hmm. Yeah.
V-
Yeah,
Very
I think that that's why like I have a lot of friends that are like really big readers,
okay.
and I wish I was like I wish I was like the last thing that I like read was like the Walking Dead comics.
Yeah.
I read up like I didn't keep going, but I read like a good amount,
Yeah.
and that was the last time that I was like, okay, cool, like I read something.
For sure. For sure. In elementary school, were you one of the kids that were kind of just off by themselves, or were you more engaged and interested in making friends or able to make friends pretty easily?
The way I remember it is for me, even through high school, all the way to high school, I knew people, even well, in elementary, like I knew everybody or whatever, but I always like stuck to like two friends, three friends.
Okay.
You Like even in high school, like I got to high school was great for me. Like everybody was like, it was such a because you're in junior high, you get teased and all that stuff, and then you go
Yeah.
to high school, and to me, I don't know if it was the area, I don't know, but a real positive experience. Like everybody was super friendly, and but I still stuck to like three really close friends. You
Right.
know, I knew other people, but like I kind of had like a small core of friends.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, with being in elementary school, was there any teachers that recognized your ability to create early on that may have kind of given you the encouragement to keep going?
You know what? I don't think there was at that age a particular teacher.
Okay.
Um, but I do remember very like specifically like teachers and other students, like like when you're just there sketching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it was always the phrase, "Did you draw that? Did you draw that?" And being like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And then being like, "Whoa, that's really cool," or whatever. And that feeling like really good when
Yeah.
someone would say that. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like one teacher at that point. It was kind of like a collective, like just the feeling of like teachers and students and just other people saying stuff at that point. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So you already mentioned that, you know, in junior high, you get teased,
Hmm.
people get teased,
Yeah.
that's a broad stroke for kind of everybody, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
Exactly.
was going from elementary into middle school, was that more of a difficult transition for you based on that?
You, you know, I don't feel like it was for me because
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Like I have friends that literally I mean, in my opinion, have nothing wrong with them at all,
Yeah.
at least physically. Like I remember I have a friend, she would get made fun of for being too skinny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it would affect her even like till this day.
Yeah.
And I remember that I was like, wow, I never really cared. And
Yeah.
I think that the core reason I didn't ever get really affected by things is because I know I had a family that like loved me.
Right.
I know I had like a good like two or three good friends that cared about me.
Yeah.
So these random people saying stuff never bothered me, I
That's
think.
amazing.
And I think that might be like when I think of like my friends that did and get affected till this day by it, I feel like maybe they didn't have that
Right.
and they felt alone.
Yeah,
Maybe they felt lonely, they felt like pushed away by people or something, right?
for sure.
Maybe that's why they were affected by it. For me, like I was always like, oh, whatever. Like you guys could say whatever. Like I'm still over here with my friends, like having a good time, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it wasn't a big deal. I don't know why it wasn't, but it just wasn't for me.
Well, yeah, and I think having that support early on, which you mentioned from your parents, um, I think that creates such a foundation, such a strong foundation
Yeah, yeah,
that it just supports everything else.
yeah.
And with, your own mindset of saying, that doesn't really bother me because over here I'm fully supported and, your opinion doesn't really make that much of a difference to me.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And I still feel like to this day, like in other situations or whatever, I feel like other people's opinions don't bother me. What bothers me is like my friends' opinions, people that like matter. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
Right
right.
on. With the disability, did you have much difficulty in getting around at school or during certain things?
So as a matter of fact, like during um schooling and all that wasn't really a big thing. I guess I was younger, lighter, not really a problem. It's
Okay.
actually only been slightly more of a problem now that I'm getting older.
Yeah.
My legs are getting weaker.
Okay.
I've developed this thing I've never heard of. It's called spinal stenosis,
Okay.
which is different, just people could develop, I guess. I think it's like narrowing of like the spine. So I now as I'm older, I have a lot of back pain
Gotcha.
that we're trying to get under control. and it's weakened my legs even more.
Okay.
So now it's a little bit more of a of an issue. But during high school, I mean, I would the most that would happen is I would get tired. Like I
Yeah.
would get like tired faster than other people.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Just because of having to exert extra energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Um, in high school, um, did you did you start to think maybe that art could be a career for you? And if so, did you start focusing on art classes in high school?
Yeah, I think and I think this is kind of like a common thing for people that draw in like the 90s, um, is I was like, oh, I want to be an animator. I want to be an animator. I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
I just knew that like I want to make those cartoons. Like I want to make those Disney cartoons. I want, and so I wanted to be an animator in my head, even though, like I said, I didn't know what it was about. And so in high school, I was put into a studio. It was called like studio art, which was like the elevated like art program.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like in high school, yeah, I was doing like every semester I would do like an art class or two, something creative. So yeah, I don't know if I was like necessarily thinking, I didn't know what I was thinking, but I just knew that like I was enjoying this, so I was gonna keep going with whatever um art class or art thing I was gonna be a part of it.
Right. Right. And in school, did your parents get divorced during that time while you're in school?
They got divorced or separated in junior high because I was around 13 years old, so it
Okay.
was like junior high time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was there was there anything about that that kind of switched the way that you thought about that experience, or was it still a scenario where they still both supported you just so much that it didn't bother you that they weren't going to be together in the same
So
household?
So that's I don't know if it's my mentality. Like going back to the being teased part,
Sure.
um, when my parents got separated, I thought about it like so positively. It was weird because I feel like my parents, I don't remember them fighting. Like they never really fought. Like I don't remember a specific fight, none of that.
Right.
But I remember that my dad would work so much that when he was home, he was just kind of like relaxing or trying to like rest.
Yeah.
Once they got separated, my dad had like us on the weekends or like had like, a couple days during the weekend. And I felt like it was a positive thing because now he was like spending like more quality time with us at the
Right.
time.
Right.
So for me, it was like, oh, cool. Like this is like kind of better. Like before my dad would like work and then rest. And now he's like taking us to the movies, you
Yeah.
know, making us breakfast, like, all this stuff, like, more one-on-one stuff.
Sure.
And so to me, it was always like a positive thing. And I don't know if it's like my mindset or the way I used to think, or if it was just genuinely like better,
Right.
you know?
No, absolutely. What I'm finding interesting is already your storyline has a very, very strong positive mindset. Um, Even with the fact that you were born with a, a problem with
Hmm.
the spine,
Hmm.
which a lot of times that would um, cause you to uh, have the mindset of, man, why did this happen to me? Why do I have to struggle like this? But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing that you have a very, very strong positive mind about you. Um, and even that instance of, your parents separating and you being able to look at it from the perspective of, oh wow, even though they're not under the same roof all the time,
Hmm.
now my dad is starting to spend more time with me. And
Hmm.
so that's the way I'm going to look at it. And
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
I'm going to enjoy it. Um,
Hmm.
and not not be upset or mad or think that they're, that
Yeah.
it was an issue that maybe a lot of times I think with parents that get separated or divorced, the kids kind of take on a mindset of it's because of me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that affects them, going forward. But what I'm finding is that you initially have always been supported by that family structure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's playing into your mindset. And then
Hmm.
you having that mindset on top of that,
Yeah.
looking at it differently, is allowing you to move through different things uh,
Yeah.
in more of a positive way,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I think can play too to the audience. Things that we experience, you have the ability and choice to think of them in a different light
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and what they may be. Even if it's a difficult thing, you still have the choice and the ability to put a spin on it and see the positive, like what you did with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that positive side of, whoa, he's spending more time with me now that he's not under the same roof
Yeah. Yeah.
just because he wants to engage more, where
Hmm.
before he was just trying to rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And I do feel like and don't get me wrong, like there's times where it's like oof, t like life is tough or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I do feel like I notice like with people, like you could either be, I mean, of course there's variations, but you could be the kind of person that always looks at things negatively,
Yeah.
or you could be the kind of person that thinks of things like on the more positive light,
Sure.
and it genuinely is a choice, you know what I mean? Because I think that no matter what, no matter who you are, there's gonna be bad things happening to you, like in some way, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So when you're getting close to the end
Mhm.
of high school, are you thinking, yeah, I'm going to be this animator. I'm going to go off to college. I'm going to study this. And what are your thoughts there? And
So this is where there was a slight shift, and I'm kind of bummed that there was a slight shift at this time,
okay,
because I feel like it would have been I would have had an even like what's it called, a sooner start, I guess you could say. Um, so I'm getting closer to the end of high school. I remember my mom took me to a kind of like a so there's a school down here called Art Center that's
yeah,
like pretty popular in Pasadena.
yeah,
And she took me to, like, I don't know if it was a consultation. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's basically like where you go, you talk to like I think a counselor or whatever, and they tell you like about their programs and whatever, whatever. I remember um taking like a portfolio that I made at like in high school
mhm,
with, like, at the time, like I'm thinking back and I'm like, oh my God, what was I showing these people? But like I took it to them and they looked at it, and I kind of remember them being like not super impressed. Now that I'm older, I'm like, well, of course, like these people are seeing like top-notch artists, you know? Um and I remember them telling me like, okay, well, I think we need you to have like more figure drawing of stuff. And I'm like, okay, okay, and being a little discouraged, but not enough to be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. The more thing that the thing that was more discouraging was that I knew that it was super expensive to go here. That was like my thing, right? And but that I remember that being one of the first things where I was like, it's like this isn't gonna be as easy as I thought. You know, it's not like you just go here and you do it and then it's over with. Like it's not that easy, you know. Um, and then there were like a few programs at school that like helped your course of where you're gonna go to get like a job eventually, right? So that these people come to your school, they talk to you, and I remember, oh, cool. And I remember them telling me like, art is cool and all that, but like it's not necessarily stable. So um and like in order for us to like help you, like we need to choose something that might be more on the stable side.
gotcha.
And I was like, okay, what is it? Like, what? Like, okay. And I'm just like, all right, well, then what do I choose? Like, I don't know. Like, I've had like one thing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, there's graphic design. And I was like, at the time, this was like, I remember that like when I was first in high school, my art class had one computer and that computer had Photoshop.
Okay.
So it's like, um, I know that like some graphic design uses Photoshop,
Yeah.
of course other programs too. But I was like, okay, I'm like, all right, so like I'm guessing that's what graphic design is. Like I was so not really sure of what it is. But I knew that like what these people were saying is that this is the route to go. So like I started kind of going that route. Um, I started going that route. I also during like a little rewind, I was doing like a program also in high school that let you kind of like do like a job somewhere
Okay.
like for like an hour or two or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was doing that at a printing company that would do like magazines or different things like that.
Yeah.
And so then like after that I was like, okay, like I guess I'm gonna do graphic design again. Like I guess that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
um, and I kind of at that moment, like, 18, 19, 20, like, and so on, I was going to school to pursue graphic design.
Okay.
Um, and at that point, I just kind of felt like this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm just going to pursue graphic design and that's it. No, no, nothing else. I was like, I guess art isn't like a thing that people do or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, And um yeah, I think at that point I remember that like I probably was drawing like 2 or 3 times a year. Like
Wow.
from like 18, 19, 20, 21, like all those years I was probably drawing. Like I went from drawing every day to like drawing like 3 or 4 times a year. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like little things here and there.
Yeah.
Because I was very discouraged that at this point they people had told me like, oh, this isn't really like a thing, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So I kind of had this point at this point in my life, I had given it up. Like I was like, nope, like this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Especially in the LA area
Hmm.
as well, being such a creative hub, so to speak.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um, to be told that you're going to have to find something or narrow this down to something that would seem a little bit more stable.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Hmm.
so did you decide to go to that art school or did you shift
No.
because of the cost?
Yeah, I went to community college, um, and just kind of was doing that for a while,
Okay.
going through the motions. I got like I ended up just getting like some certificates and like accreditations that way. I was doing that for a while. I do remember that at one point in my like mid um 20s, I was kind of getting like a spark back a little bit.
Okay.
uh, where I was like, I'm gonna go visit I think it's called the art, or it was called because I think that they went bankrupt or something. It was called the Art Institute.
Yeah.
And I went I went and honestly, like when I went there, I was like, oh my God, this place is amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool. Like the building had there was like a center part to the building and it had glass all around. And I guess it also was like a culinary school, I guess, because they had like chefs in there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, this is so cool. Then I heard like the prices and I was like, ooh, like like it was like 90,000 something like to me that was great. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Exactly.
what, like what? No, 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 no. So that I was like, okay, nope, again, which I'm glad because I heard like later on, I think they got like sued or something. I forget what happened, but
Yeah, it was a whole issue. There it
yeah.
had some here in Michigan, and I attempted to do the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Attempted to go to it and got in, and it was like not long after I got into it,
Hmm.
did all of those things start unraveling,
Really? Oh
coming to
man.
light. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um, let's focus in on these uh transition years, 19, 20, 21, where
Hmm.
you're feeling kind of defeated and
Yeah.
depleted,
Yeah.
but just going through the motions of school.
Yeah.
Are you working as well during this time?
So at this point, no, I was going to school full time.
Okay.
I was doing like commission work a little bit. And then I was working part time with my friend. His stepdad worked for this company called NJB, which is like a little basketball junior basketball thing.
Okay.
And we were doing a lot of like promotional stuff for them.
Gotcha.
Um, so I was doing some of that while going to school. Yeah.
So that graphic design kind of did take over
A little bit,
those
yeah.
few years. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. And then are you are you are you feeling any um anything other than that defeated aspect? Because up to
Yeah.
this point you've had this pretty positive mindset
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then and the support as well.
Yeah.
So now you're in this little phase where it's like, oh man, it may not be the thing that I'm able to do. And you're kind of doing the graphic design, which I'm just gathering it's not super fulfilling.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So so what is the mindset of the day-to-day thoughts of what am I gonna do next or how am I gonna maneuver this?
You know, and I don't think that it ever goes away, especially like in these times right now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I felt very lost and not sure of what to do.
Okay.
I was very like, um, like, what does this look like? Like, where do I start applying for like jobs for graphic design? And I remember applying, but I remember that like at the time it was crazy because they were like, oh, we want 4 years experience, 5 years, and I'm like, how do I get that experience? Like,
Yeah.
um, so it was a very like defeated time and just like, okay, what do I like? Where do I go? For the longest time, I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? Um, very like just like what like like what do I do from here? Where do I go? It was, and that's why I feel like um during high school, yeah, very positive. And then after, I was still like kind of like a positive mindset, but it was very like I was very confused, very like, what do I do?
For sure.
For all these years, I just wanted one thing, and now I can't go that route.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I can't go that route,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did did any of that put you into a state of depression, or was it just a defeated? I just got to keep moving, and maybe I'll figure it out.
No, for sure, for sure. Because I think that like one of the biggest things that would bother me was I'm the kind of person like if a client talks to me about something, I I I want to know the route that we're going. Like I want to know the route that like the end product is, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Um, and so back then I didn't know like where like this is where I wanted to be or what it looked like or nothing. So yeah, I think I felt very defeated, bummed out, like confused. Um, in my head, I'm like, am I gonna do I just go and like apply to like
Yeah.
Target or something? You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yes.
like what do I do? Like I don't know. And even with like my going to school for graphic design, all that, I still never felt really sure of myself because I'm an illustrator and I'm not good with like these color palettes for this website or like how to nicely have a flow for like a pamphlet or like a
Just the
flyer kind of.
structure. Yeah. Structure of a layout
And
or
and now I still do that stuff for certain companies. But now I could do it. But like at 20, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6, like I was like, like I was like, like I'm like just I just threw a bunch of stuff on the like no like that wasn't my mindset was like character driven or how to design a character or how to sketch something. That was what I was like my passion was at.
yeah,
And so yeah, I think there was a lot of moments where I would just be like, what am I doing here? Like what's going on? Yeah,
yeah, for
for
sure.
sure.
All right. What do you remember the the pivotal moment
Hmm.
during that point in time where the switch happened
Hmm.
and that light bulb came on and was like, oh, okay, I can pivot into potentially this direction
Oh
and
yeah.
shift out of where you're at.
I I I 100% remember, but I didn't shift immediately.
Okay.
Um, so I remember I was already well like into like hitting 30, almost hitting 30. And I don't it's funny because this guy is like one of my best friends now. But I don't know if I hit him up or he hit me up, and it was like in the infancy of Instagram. Um, and I saw that he was a working artist, like a working illustrator, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like it looks a lot different now because now everybody could draw. Like everybody could. This wasn't that yet. Like the iPad wasn't a thing yet.
Right. Right.
Um, and so, but like he hit me up, or I hit him up, and he invited me to be a part of an art show
Yeah.
that he was throwing. And I was like, all right, like this is cool. Like this is totally cool. And and so I did it. I did it, and it was like, this is cool. I don't. I think I might have sold like a print or two. Like that wasn't like the 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 point. The point to me was that like at that moment I was like, oh, this is cool. It like sparked my interest again. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I saw that he didn't have like a day job. He just was doing art. That's it.
Okay.
Uh, and so that's what kind of like that was the initial thing that kind of went like, okay, like someone's doing it, like someone's doing something like in the creative field.
Right.
Um, but simultaneously at this point, I went back to school. I was going back to school. So I think I might have been like 30 or something. And I went back to school, and at this point, I was going print strictly for print technology, which was something that what I did in
High school?
in high school.
Yeah.
So it's just basically anything, whether it's like the pre-press stuff,
Right.
learning about the different printing methods and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Once again, not loving it. I remember lectures, and I remember being like people knowing everything, like the students around me knowing everything, and me being like what? Like I don't know what just was said.
Yeah.
So I was at that point, that's where I was at. I was doing that. Not my mind was going like thinking about like my friend now that was doing art,
Yeah.
but I was going to school. Yeah.
Got you. Got you. All right. So you're back into that environment where it's kind of like a structured, um, confined to a box
Hmm. Hmm.
pathway.
Yeah.
Um, how are you navigating doing that? And also too, now you see this other opportunity as
Hmm.
wait, somebody else is actually doing this as a living.
Yep.
How long did you stay into doing the school stuff before you started to change, or did you go ahead and finish out that schooling?
So I finished it out again. Like I got certified to work at these places and all that stuff. Um, but it's funny to think back now. It's really, 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 really funny to think about it now. Um, because I had a girlfriend at the time we were together for 5 years. And I think she came from a world that was not a creative world.
Okay.
So she was looked at my art in a way where it was like, okay, that's kind of fun. Like that's a hobby. And I could feel that. Like like I could feel it. So it kind of made me feel a little insecure about it, right?
Right.
Um I was at this point, and it's funny because at this point I'm starting to take and I'm starting to meet people at at the college that I'm going to now, or at this point, that are in like more illustrative courses
Okay.
um and art courses. And I'm like, well, since I'm doing this right now, like I'm going through this, I'm gonna go in these classes too. Might as well. And I started doing that. I started making friends, and time starts to progress, like there. And I'm making these friends, and there was several factors. First of all, at Instagram starts to grow a little bit, and I start to share my little drawings again, and I'm trying to get like positive feedback. Um, uh, these friends. Also, my other friend that got me to the gallery, he was pushing me too, saying, "Hey, like, do you have a piece that I could like you can enter into this show? There's another art show. I'll pick it up from you." Like he was really pushing me. He was like, "Dude, he's like, you're so talented. Like I'll pick it up from you. I'll take it, whatever, whatever." And and um and also there was this thing. It's not a thing anymore. It's such a bummer because it was really popular in the early stages of Instagram. It was called Sketch Dailies.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and they used to the people that would run it, or the person that would run it, would say like the mummy or the whatever, and then everybody would draw that subject, and you would tag it, and then you would get followers that way. You would get like
Right. Cool.
a following that way. Um, and so I was like starting to get like that spark back. I was like, oh man, like this is getting fun. Like I'm the kind of person that like, yes, I draw for myself, but like that appreciation for what you created is really nice, a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember that I was doing that. I was oh, and then that ex, or that, well, she's an ex now, but that girlfriend at the time, she um she had bought me an iPad. And
Okay.
this must have been like 2013, 2012, I don't know, around there.
Yeah.
And back then there was no such thing as an Apple Pencil. It was you had to buy like a third party pencil that had like this little disc on it. It was really weird. And I remember I bought like the program Procreate for like 99 cents, something like that. And I was just having a blast drawing on this thing, and then sharing my drawings. And then I remember my friend, the one that was like helping me with like doing the shows,
Yeah.
he was like, dude, he's like, that's so cool. Like you draw like on a tablet. And I was like one of the few people at the time that was doing that. And
Yeah.
so it just sparked my like my interest at this stage now. I started like, okay, cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
liking this. And so I was still doing that, but I was getting more um passionate again about my art again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, an interesting thing that I just picked up on was the fact that you said in that relationship,
Hmm.
she was kind of like, yeah, this is a cool hobby, but
Hmm.
it's not necessarily a living maker thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was giving you a sense of insecurity
Yes.
about
Uh-huh.
that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
but then she bought you an iPad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that as maybe a shift in her mindset, or did she still consider what you're doing just a hobby and she just did that as a gift to help you with the hobby?
I think it was more of a gift just to help me with the hobby because
Okay.
I specifically remember being so obsessed that uh she would it would cause fights between us because we would have our shows that we would watch together.
Right.
And then I remember being there sketching, drawing, and then she'd be like, could you not do that? And I'd be like, dude, like I love this. Like I'm so into this right now. Like
Yeah.
and she hate at a point she just did not like that. Um I would be like, oh, what just happened? And she's like, I'm not gonna tell you what just happened on the because you're too busy like drawing over there. I just think that she didn't get it. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't anything. She just didn't get it.
Yeah.
and I do realize that once I ended that relationship, I realized that from that point on, all I what I personally need is support. Like I need people to be supportive, and that's why now I feel like I'm surrounded by a lot of creative people
Yeah.
that see things the way I see things, you know?
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a lot of creatives' experiences when they're dealing with relationships or um, even family members that
Mhm.
just look at it as a scenario of, yeah, that's cool that you can do that, but that's not going to sustain you
Yeah.
as a lifestyle and family or any of that type of scenarios.
Hmm.
Um, and it's those experiences that are they're difficult for us as creatives because it plays on our insecurities,
Oh yeah.
but also too it's those types of situations which help us shift, like you're saying, into the
Hmm.
mindset of I just want people who are going to be supportive, kind
Yep.
of like everything that I had growing up from
Hmm.
my family, that supportive, structure and foundation, and my friends that were around me that thought it was super cool that I was drawing the things I was.
Yeah.
You were able to move through that period of time of confusion,
Hmm.
um, and not knowing where you were going to get to a place where, all right, now I'm seeing that there's possibilities. I'm saying I don't want this type of relationship with a partner, but now I know what I do want
Yeah.
moving forward. And I think that's a key thing too for the creative community is if they can potentially, with this type of conversation, be able to recognize those things
Hmm. Hmm.
quicker and
Yep.
move through those or move out of those situations to allow
Yep.
themselves to blossom and expand.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So with getting this iPad, now you've got this whole new world
Hmm.
that's opened
Hmm.
up.
Yep.
Um, and you're saying this is 2012, 2013.
Hmm.
How did how did the Reimagine conference come across your radar?
That is so funny that you bring that up. So, wow, it's crazy to think back
Yeah.
in life and how things happen, right? Like, because you're just living life, you know what I mean? So I have a cousin and his husband that work at Disneyland.
Okay.
And they got really close to my ex at the time. Or I mean, I'm cool with my cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love my cousin, but like they got really close, and so they invited us to downtown Disney. And I remember that. I remember, and this is so. It's okay. So we're down at this place called Earl Sandwich. That's in downtown Disney. Really great sandwiches. Um, and my cousin goes, "Oh, that guy right there is his name is Noah. He's a Disney licensed artist." And um and they start like my cousin starts like getting like images of his work and whatever and showing it to like my my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "Wow!" Personally, I was like, "Damn, this guy has skills." It's just
Yeah.
not my cup of tea, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's cool, right? Like it's cool. Um, but my ex really liked the work. So she started following him on social media,
Yeah.
and I think I might have too. And one day, so I guess she was kind of supportive. She goes, she goes, "Hey, uh." That Noah guy, he's doing like a mentorship thing. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like a mentorship, like maybe like to like kind of like help you with like a career, like a career or whatever. And so I was like, oh, okay. She's like, you should do it. Like why don't you do it? Like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, you think so? And she's like, yeah, I mean, like it seems like pretty cool. Like maybe he could like give you advice or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And so that's how initially it started. Like I signed up for it. I remember I was still going to school,
yeah.
and yeah, so like it like I signed up for it, and um yeah, that was the start of it. That was I went and started doing all that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it, it is interesting that now that you're looking at it, you're like, oh, maybe she was supportive. And
Yeah.
the way I'm seeing it is she's seeing, hey, there's somebody out here making money at it,
Yeah. Yeah.
doing it. So
Yeah.
let me see if this
Yeah.
will you get to the point of
Yeah,
being able to
exactly.
be stable and make some money.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think that's what it was. It was she was like, maybe if this is what's gonna have to happen, this is what's gonna have to happen for you to make some cash. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was cool was that conference was like we were talking beforehand. Um, that's where we met
Hmm. Hmm.
because it came across my social media as well.
Hmm.
I signed up for it, and at that time I had no money to
Hmm.
be able to go out there to it, but um, they were doing something. You know what it was? Do you remember Nicole?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
Nicole had mentioned to Noah that she wanted to um, sponsor somebody
Uh-huh.
to
Uh-huh.
come out there.
Yeah.
Um, and an email went out, and it was like Noah saying, "Hey, if you're interested, there's somebody that's looking to sponsor." And then I don't remember if I had to do something for it or if I just needed to reply.
Hmm.
But I did, and it ended up that she sponsored the travel for me to go out
Oh,
there.
nice, nice.
Yeah, I'm super thankful for her today, to this day, just because of being connected to everybody
Yeah.
that I met out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened for me. It was the only time I had the opportunity to go past Tennessee in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of Tennessee or Florida in terms of travel.
Yeah.
So first time to the West Coast, I get off the plane and I'm like, holy crap. I could be here permanently and
Yeah.
like this. Um, then we had the conference and connecting with all the different creatives that were there, you, Daniel, Peter,
Right. Oh yeah.
all these people. And then also too, for me, that's a time at the time I was starting my jewelry company.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Dean Del Sesto, he was sitting behind me um, and through most of the conference and wanted to know more about my jewelry. And then when he got up to speak, he mentioned my name, and I was like, oh, wow, wait a second.
Yeah.
He's literally seeing me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somebody saying that
Yeah.
I'm doing something and it's in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it was that validation that we
Hmm.
all as creatives search for.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
that was very cool about going out there, and then
Yep.
just being able to stay connected through social media, um,
Yeah.
and follow each other and follow everybody's journey.
Yep.
That's always been a thing that I keep in my mind as a highlight moment.
Oh yeah.
Now that you've seen this opportunity and Noah being somebody who's out there making a living at it, some of these other creatives that were at the conference that are making livings at it, how are you moving forward from that at that point?
So so I'll be honest. Um, hmm, how do I say this? Um, with the that whole experience, I'll be completely honest, it wasn't what I was hoping it would be.
I've heard that
Yeah.
from others. It's okay.
Yeah. In a lot of ways. And but with that said, the one thing that has been crazy, like that made it completely worth it was meeting the people that I met.
Yeah.
That was and I don't mean this in a super negative way, but that was the one and only thing that was really good about it.
Yeah.
Um, because met you, I met Nicole, her sister-in-law that like literally has a wall of my art on her on her house.
Very cool.
Daniel
Yeah.
and my best friend Brian, he I met him through Noah U.
Okay.
And so like as far as the people, Robin's another one. There's been so many cool people that came from it.
Yeah.
Um, as far as knowledge, I don't think it kind of dawned on me one time where I was kind of like, first of all, I was hoping it was more specialized. Like I thought it was gonna be a more mentorship, like where it was like specific.
Yeah.
It was kind of very vague for me.
Right.
Um, and whenever like there was like information being this is this is not me trying to like knock anybody, but I was like, I remember sitting there at the first reimagine, and I went to it because I did the pamphlet.
Yeah.
I did the pamphlet, and I did like the art, the different guest speakers. They had Noah had me draw their faces, so that way you could write notes
Okay. Yeah.
by their faces or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw people writing notes, right? Writing notes down. And that's cool, but I was like, these people are saying things that like we already know. Like I felt like I already knew these things. Like I wanted specifics. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you get prints from here, and you
Right.
should get like try to have this pricing. Like I wanted specifics.
Yeah.
At this point, I didn't want like vague terms. So so I kind of felt like it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So nothing really changed other than it kind of made me feel more sure of like the knowledge I knew.
Yeah.
But I loved that I made connections with people, and that for sure has like taught me a lot. These people have taught me a lot. I've learned from the people that were in in creative fields, even if it might not have been art. They had knowledge in aspects that I didn't know. So I think I learned way more from the people in it, than the courses.
Yeah.
And like another person, like I remember this was one thing that kind of really like was like a mind-blowing moment. I remember that I had done I remember when they did Inktober for the first like year,
Okay. Yeah.
which is for people that don't know, it's for like, Instagram. You have to draw in ink or whatever, and like there's different subjects, and you do it or whatever. There's prompts.
Yeah.
And I remember that I had this like little crummy sketchbook, and I had drawn this little boy, and I still have the sketch, and I feel like it looks kind of crappy. But it's a little boy. I remembered being a kid when you go trick-or-treating and you get your bag of candy and you would throw it on the floor, and just like to
Yeah.
me, I remember being like, it just looks like so much candy. Like I used to like doing that. But I was like, okay, I'm like, that's not enough for like a drawing. Like I want to do like something that's kind of funny. So I had a kid doing like snow angels, but doing it with like the candy,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I mean, like I said, like I think back to it, it's crappy. I posted it, it did really well. And I remember Eric from Noah U, he works
Yeah.
for Pixar.
Yep. Eric Ely.
Yeah. And he messaged me and he goes, dude, like more of this, more of this. He's like, it's not about how good the drawing is, it's about what I felt when I saw the drawing.
Yeah.
He was like, the feeling that you gave me, it reminded me of me being a kid, and it reminded me of me, like it took me back to memories of me trick-or-treating, right?
Right.
And so he's like, it's not about like he's like, someone could do a really cool drawing.
Yeah.
But like if it doesn't have like some kind of a story or something, we're just gonna like swipe past it. Like we're just gonna keep going. But if it has something that's gonna trigger an emotion, and I remember always like once he said that to me, I was like that made me learn. It was those moments where like you learn something now.
Right. Right.
Because before that, like high school time and before that, I was like, I'm just gonna draw cool drawings. Like it's just cool drawings, no heart really behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I've learned a lot by the people in than anything else. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. With that words of encouragement from Eric,
Mhm.
and getting that feedback, did that did that move you in the direction of starting to go in your own um, particular styling of what you were doing?
So it's funny. So it's funny because a guy that I went to high school with that was also in those classes, he just wrote me on um, on Saturday talking about style and what route to take and like with art, right?
Okay.
And I remember I kind of I told him I go, you know what, like as far as that goes, there's no like you don't just go and write down this is the style I'm going in.
Right.
I told him that the best thing you can do, it's like if you're like a if you build bikes, if you make jewelry, um I told him like whatever it is that you do, you you try to think more about just always remember what you like.
For
Just
sure.
think about what you like. Like for example, like if you're into motorcycles or something and you like the certain lines of the bikes that you like,
Yeah.
when you're replicating it, remember those lines that you like, those like lines of the bike or something, the way it flows or whatever. So so to me, I always at that point, I feel like I still was kind of like just doing whatever.
Okay.
Um, with time, I've realized, no, I just got to do what I like. Whatever that is, whatever that is. And at this point, I was still going to school. I still had the girlfriend. And but simultaneously at this point, I started getting a couple commissions, like people saying, "Could you
Yeah.
draw this for me? Could you draw that for me?
All
Could
right.
you, how much do you charge? Whatever." And I was like, "Oh," but like it's like it was still like on the lower end, like meaning like one a week, once every other
Sure.
week. Um, I was also not charging much at the time. Um, yeah, like but it was like kind of like making me feel like, oh, okay,
Right.
like this is like the doors are opening like for me to just like do something digital like on my iPad and I could send it off to them or whatever, you
Right.
know.
Right.
At this point too, I started doing like an event or two, like an art event, like art walk style
Yeah.
events.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Once you got out of school
Mhm,
again,
mhm,
and now you're starting to see, all right, there's more opportunities for me to be able to be creative on my own,
mhm,
seeing I can start making a little money at this.
mhm.
Did you decide I need to go work for somebody else, or did you at that point think, let me just go ahead and try to figure this out and do my own thing?
Um, okay, so it didn't happen exactly like that. Like I was in the relationship that I was in,
Right?
and I was still doing like some commissions here and there, right? And doing an event here and there. And I remember that I was doing the events, and I remember my ex, which it wasn't many, it was a couple, but she would never go to them. She'd be like, "All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Bring me something to eat when you when you're on your way back." And I'm like, okay, like that kind of sucks. Like I see other people like having some kind of supportive person, right?
Right.
Um, and then I remember that I was just like, you know, I was like, okay, I think I need to just get like move past this relationship and whatever. So I broke things off with that person. And I do remember going
Yeah.
like now, whatever my choice is, it isn't going to affect somebody else. Whatever my choice is going to just affect me.
Yeah.
And so I started at that point, started doing more events.
Okay.
Um, at that point, I started like being surrounded by more people doing this full time
Right.
and started taking on even more commissions at that point.
Okay.
And I kind of was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna like go for it and see what happens. And I'm just gonna start sharing my artwork all the time. on my social media. Like I'm just gonna start sharing it and showing it and all the fun, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm just gonna share it and show it. And at that point, I didn't feel like it was gonna like I wasn't being judged by anybody. I wasn't. It wasn't like it was just pure positive. Like I was like, I'm just gonna just do this, whether I make this much or whatever, gonna go for it. And then opportunities started opening up more and more and more.
Right.
Yeah.
When did the first opportunity come along where you're like, holy cow?
Um, let's see. Dang, because it's so funny. This is one thing that I do recommend to people is when you're feeling like you haven't done anything with your life, you kind of like have to like look back and you kind of think you kind of zoom out and you go like, wait, I have done like some pretty cool things, you know.
Right.
Um, it might have been, it might have been, I'm trying to think. When I got invited to do when I got invited to do my first set of Star Wars sketch cards
Okay.
with tops. That might have been like I think that might have been the first big one if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Um, I remember that I got invited. Um, I got like an email, saying like, "Oh, would you like to be a part of blah, blah, blah," and it was for an upcoming movie called Rogue One. I didn't know what Rogue One was at the time, and and I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this." Like, I'm down. I'll do it. And I remember I waited till the last minute to so what Topps does is they send you a contract and all that stuff and because you can't share the stuff until like the sketch cards are released and all that. And sketch cards, for people that don't know, are if you go and purchase a like a pack of like Stranger Things or I think they did Back to the Future for a while. They did Walking Dead. Um, you get like cards, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're lucky, you'll get a sketch card.
Okay.
And there are like communities out there that collect these. Like I didn't know about it. Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then I like started looking them up and like they sell them for like 80, $100 each, like little card, you know?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um and so I remember I waited till the last like week to do, I think it was like 100 cards. I
Holy
had to do, yeah, I did 100 cards and it was no duplicates. So every design that you did had to be like an original character.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
Or like original scene, original like whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
I was up all night. I remember being up till like 10 in the morning one day and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Um, and I remember that I had sent them off. And so what they do is you kind of like put aside like whatever they allow you to keep,
Yeah.
right? Um they'll send them back to you and you could keep those, you could sell those, you could do whatever you want with those. Um and so they sent them back. So they'll reject some too if they're like not to like the liking or whatever, but I don't think I had any rejects at this one. Um, so they sent him back. I didn't post anything. But then once they told us that they released the set, I remember or that the set was out in at stores. I remember that at this moment there was still the Toys R Us. I don't know if their Toys R Us
Yeah.
were over there.
Yeah.
I went to Toys R Us and I went to the section that was like kind of by the checkouts and like they had Topps cards there. And I remember going to buy like a set of like tops, and I was like, oh my God. Obviously, I didn't get a car. I mean, there's like thousands of these. I didn't get a car. I didn't get one, but it was cool to know that I was a part of that set, you know.
Yeah.
And people out there in the world have my artwork
It
and stuff.
worked. Yeah.
And so that was one of the first like I guess working like in a bigger industry that I was like, oh, this is cool. Like now I have something to like kind of like back up what I do, I guess. Yeah.
Right. For sure. Definitely a huge resume piece.
Yeah.
With that bit of information in terms of realizing, okay, this is a different world in terms of the business
Hmm. Hmm.
type of things that you have to go through and hoops and negotiation or back and forth, those type of things, contracts.
Yeah.
Um, what did you learn from that experience that allowed you to move to the next one with a bit more confidence?
Um, I think that one of the biggest things is like I think as like a creative person, I don't know, at least for me, you always have like that imposter syndrome where
Oh
you're
yeah,
like
that's
you're like
many people.
yeah, like I'm not good, like I'm not that good, like I'm not good enough. Like even me, like I just got a question a few days ago, what's your favorite drawing or something? And I'm like, I kind of hate everything I do. But after hours of working on it, I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh, like that's so wrong, or that's not right, or this isn't like, ugh. Like I just look at the like what I don't like about it, because I also have the mindset of always wanting to improve.
yeah,
So I'm always like, ugh. Um, so yeah, like to me, I don't know. To me, I felt like I I think I learned that their validation was like enough, like no, you are good enough, like you um like if this company if they didn't like what you did, they wouldn't be hitting you up, they wouldn't be asking you to do this if you weren't good enough, like yeah, if you and actually that's kind of what I learned is uh whatever what you're doing is good enough for the client because they came to you to do work for them.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So don't feel like I think that sometimes like I would feel like, oh my God, is this good enough? Like, is this good enough? Like, oh, like what if they're not happy with it? And I'm like, wait a minute. Like they're asking me like to do this. Like I didn't go to them and necessarily in this case and like ask for them to like let me, you
right,
know?
right.
Uh, so I think that like just feeling like you have the skill level and that you're good enough to work on whatever project that they want, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always a bonus in terms of the recognition and the validation that that gives you. Um, and yeah, like you said, I think every creative still, even myself at this point, there's a little bit of the imposter syndrome that still
Oh yeah.
comes into play, right? Um, like starting this podcast scenario, it's like I don't have a big studio. I don't have a huge setup. I don't have the bucks behind it. I just got my computer, a ring light, and I'm sitting here. I know how
Yeah.
to, I can send out an email or a message,
Yeah.
DM, all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, well, do I even call myself a podcaster or do I just say I got this thing I do?
Yeah.
So I think that always plays into it
Yeah.
for creatives across the
Oh
board.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
it, I think it's like an ebb and flow scenario,
Uh-huh.
you
Uh-huh.
know, or like
Exactly.
surfing. Like sometimes you're riding that wave and it's great set, and other times you're just sitting there on
Oh yeah.
still water waiting for one
Mhm.
to,
And it happened and I think that it's always gonna happen. I think it's always gonna happen.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
for sure. The the opportunity to do the Stranger Things
Hmm.
work.
Hmm.
Were you already a fan of
Oh
that?
yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
when that came across your radar, what were your thoughts at that point?
I'm doing this right. I'm doing it right away. Because so with that company, I have the books right here. Because I did Halloween, the an official illustration for like their Halloween book, and but the first one was Stranger Things. And so what they do is when they invite you to be a part of one of the books,
Yeah.
they kind of like keep you now they keep you on like they kind of put you like in a group, kind of with tops too. Like once they ask you to do something and it goes well, um, they kind of like, okay, you're like one of like of an approved artist, I guess.
Yeah, you're like on a roster.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I've been asked to do like they did like an official. All of their books for from this publishing company is all official. Like they don't do like not unofficial stuff. And so, like I was asked to do Jaws recently, and I wanted to, but I just don't I don't I've seen it. I just don't it's not like I'm not like a huge fan.
Yeah,
So I have to pass
you
on it
don't
because I
vibe
feel
with
like
it.
yeah, like I feel like I if I don't like if I don't have like a strong connection to it or something, I'm just not gonna know what to think of what to draw. With Stranger Things, like I knew what I wanted to do immediately. I love the show. I'm telling you right now, everything 80s, I'm like all about. So the fact that it takes place in the 80s, I was
Yeah,
like, I love the show. So so I was like, sign me up. I'm doing this. Like, yeah. So right away, I was a fan, and I knew I was gonna do it. Yeah.
nice. Very cool. Did you said or I said rather, based off of information that I gathered, that you had worked with Fox.
Yeah.
What did that opportunity look like for you?
So it's funny because so the way that that came about is uh I dated someone in my early 20s that I'm still really great friends with.
Okay,
And her cousin that I became really good friends with also. He's had for a while now a like puppet slash like prop kind of like of a company.
okay,
And so he opened up this company, and he needed someone to do like concept art for him because he obviously like when they pitch designs, they need someone to draw it up for like these companies to approve the designs.
right,
And so I've been like an ongoing concept artist for his company. It started, I wouldn't say it started, but one of the first major ones was he made puppets for. I'm not a big sports fan, but like here they have like Fox Sports and they have like the news anchors that do like the Fox Sports, and they needed puppets for all the different anchors,
okay,
and and so they needed to see what he was going to produce. So I designed the puppets for what he was going to build. That was the first one, and then and he'll take sometimes he'll take me to like the meetings. So but this was I think that the next Fox one that we did. Um, was uh was for this show that the comedian that made Triumph the Insult Dog, he's
yeah,
like the on Conan.
yeah,
He was doing this puppet show on Fox.
yeah,
Um and so like they needed he was gonna build them and they needed a designer. So like I designed like Kim Kardashian. Like it was like a celebrity based like
yeah.
puppet show. So I designed a whole bunch of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I designed a whole bunch. So basically a designer for him. Also, what else did we do? We've done a lot. We did the Encanto live action at the Hollywood Bowl. I designed like the big puppet of Bruno that comes out during the show that's playing on the it's playing on Disney Plus.
Oh,
So like yeah, like there's and it's still going. Like we've done so many projects. Oh, I did we designed the donkey dragon puppets for Universal in Florida. So I did the concept art for those puppets and all that.
okay, very cool.
So yeah.
With working with these larger companies and
Mhm,
having these opportunities come in for the creatives that are out there that kind of don't know where to go or what to do, um,
mhm,
and get an opportunity.
mhm,
Do do you have any advice in terms of how they can stay consistently working potentially
mhm.
with those clients and or expose themselves for other opportunity?
Okay, so first of all, I do feel like it's important to constantly, and it's draining because it's a hard thing to do for someone that is more creative
Yeah.
than like structured, very structured. You gotta constantly post and show that you're alive, that you're, you know what I mean? Even if you have to kind of like not fake it, but have an excuse to post something that's cool, that eye-catching and all that. That's one thing. The other thing that so there's one thing I do, and then there's one thing that I need to do more of. So one thing I do is like I've done work for a brand called Crakeworthy that works for Disney and other licensed people or companies. What I do is I've I developed some what about like a friendship with like one of the main like owners.
Mm.
Once in a while, I'll shoot an email and be like, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you? How have you been?" Just like not like necessarily being like, "Hey, do you have any work for me?" You
Right.
know what I mean? Not like no, no, no. Just like be like, "Hey, how are you?" Like, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Just so, because sometimes it's not that they don't want more work from you, is that they just are bombarded by so much other stuff going on
Yeah.
that like they might give it to somebody else that's like right in front of them, right?
Right.
So like sometimes when you've already worked with people, um, what you can do is just shoot them an email, shoot them a text, shoot them something, just casually, so they just know that you're around still. The other thing that I do, the thing that I wish I could, or I would do more is being more of like a go-getter. Like I feel like sometimes um you need to like kind of like what they say, like break down doors. Like you got to go like and like or knock on people's doors and be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm an illustrator,
Right.
like if you need any work, I'm available. Here's some images." You know, just letting people know, because especially now in this kind of like day and age right now, there's just so much that you could get like drowned in the sea of people that could kind of do what you do.
Right.
So just like reaching out, like sometimes you got to just reach out, have like some images ready, a portfolio ready, um, um, figure out brands or companies that you like, that you resonate with, and just be like, "Hey, I don't know if you guys need any illustrators or anything right now, but here's my work. Um, like if you guys ever do, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to work with you guys. I love your brand. I love what you guys do." Um, because sometimes it's not going to come to you. Like sometimes it's like, like I said, you're lost in a sea of other people that do what you do.
Yeah.
So having to be, proactive is probably the best way, which like I said, I need to do more of it. It's not easy. It's not easy, but yeah, I think that's a
Yeah, for sure. I think the creatives in general, it's kind of difficult to be that proactive.
mm-hmm,
Pitch yourself, pitch yourself, pitch yourself.
hmm.
And it plays into what you're saying about having an imposter syndrome come
Yep.
up at certain times.
Hmm.
You get in that mode and you're like, well, I can't pitch to anybody because I don't feel like I'm good enough.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But it's a lot of times it's those unexpected emails that go out or those unexpected DMs that you send
yeah.
that you get the response from
Hmm.
that opens up a door
Hmm.
that can lead to quite a few different things.
Hmm. Hmm.
With where you're at now, one of the things that uh, I've seen that you've been doing and you focus on is your pinups.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they have a range of different themes
Hmm. Hmm.
across them. What was the thing that inspired you to want to do the pinup styling?
So it's so funny. It's funny because I in high school, in high school, I got really into like 1920s, 30s, 40s pinups,
Yeah.
like Petty and Evergreen and all these like famous pinup artists. And I loved it. I loved the era, but I also just loved I don't have them here, but like I have them in boxes. I have like these books, these massive like books, and I was like, oh my God, I love the way he drew the body, and I loved that like how like it looked realistic, but then like there were certain aspects of um of the way he drew the body, like he would enhance the legs a little bit or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I was very like obsessed with it already. Um and but then I think that like, and this is what goes back to like finding what your style or what you want is
Yeah.
I remember for the longest time I was drawing what pe I thought people wanted.
Right.
And I remember one time I went to my buddy's house and there was four of us and they all started drawing something. Like they were like we're all artists and we were just sketching and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm like what do I do? Like I'm like so lost. Like I don't know what to do." And so I was like, "You know what? I created a little character named Willow. He's a little pumpkin boy. I created him like back in like 2010 or so. And I was like, I'm just gonna draw a girl hugging like a little plushie that I also I
Okay.
had, and I'm just gonna like draw her like hugging him. It just so happens that I drew her kind of curvier, like a little bit more on the thicker side, which
Yeah.
is like more of the aesthetic that I liked, that I'm attracted to, and all that, and those things.
Sure.
And um, I wasn't thinking about like, oh, will people like it? I was just like, I'm just doing this for me right now, whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember that I was like, I'm gonna post it. Like, I'm gonna post it. It wasn't even colored. It was just like black. It was just a drawing, a sketch.
Yeah.
And it like got like hundreds, like over 1,000 likes. And at the moment, at that time, um, that was like a lot, you know. And I remember like she's hugging him and like the emotion in it, I guess people liked, but she also had like a little tight shirt on and she had like her little tummy like sticking out. And um people were just like, "Oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool." I colored it. People loved it. Um, uh, I feel like it's still one of like people's favorites. Like I still sell like stickers of it, prints of it,
Right.
anything with that one on it. And then I was like, wait a minute. Like I don't need to worry about what other people want to see.
Yeah.
Um, I'll just do what I want, what I would want to see, and there's going to be an audience for it.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a niche or an audience for what this is, you know?
Right.
And that's what sparked me. Like, you know what? I'm doing what I want now. Like, I'm not gonna just do fan art. I'm not just gonna do like things that I think people are gonna want to see. Like, I always drew women a little curvier, but like on the smaller side, because I thought that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
people want.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know, forget it. I'm just doing what I want, and end of story, done. And people have really resonated with that till this day. Yeah,
Yeah. I appreciate that that era of
yeah,
art as well,
yeah.
with the pinups, and you're absolutely right. Though that era was more of the lean um, styling of
Mhm.
the figure,
Yeah.
more of the model-esque
Hmm.
stylings. But the way that you're kind of reinventing the pinup and what can be the pinup in 2025,
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing, number one. Two, I think you're carving a lane that is allowing potentially more people accessibility
Hmm.
and interest in it
Yeah.
just because it's today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't have that pinup that's the super skinny
Yeah. Hmm.
formed um visual as
Yeah.
as a reference point anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not as predominant.
Yeah.
So what you're doing, I feel, is carving that individual lane that's kind of setting a new path in a new direction, and the pinup styles, as well as it's a lot of what you're doing is more um, cartooned,
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
lack of a better word,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Oh no, yeah.
so that it's more characterized.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily real to life, but it's characterized so it could play into a whole different things in
And
terms.
that's funny because I feel like sometimes I'll get a little discouraged sometimes because I do feel like sometimes people resonate with something that looks a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And I look at some of my first pinups I did, and they did have more of a realistic painterly style,
Yeah.
but I wasn't as happy with them because I do like more cartoony stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think that you need to find people need to find a balance, meaning you got to do what you like. And
Yeah.
so now I just instead of trying to please others, I just go like, but I like cartoony. Like that's what I like. I like that stylized cartoony vibe. And at the end of the day, if I want this to be kind of like something I want to continue, I have to enjoy it. If I'm doing drawings of women more realistic and I'm not enjoying it, then I'm not gonna want to do it. I'm gonna be like, ugh, like I'm over it.
Right.
Um, so I think it's important to not really focus on what you think other people are gonna like. Just try to like keep it to what is gonna keep your passion still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That right there is gold for information for the audience is that if you are focused on the things that are keeping your heart full,
Mhm.
keeping that fire inside of you going,
Mhm.
then it's a lot smoother
Mhm.
than trying to please everybody.
Oh yeah, because you'll get burnt out real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. One of the things that you said when you were talking about your stuff is was doing stickers and
Mhm.
postcards and different things like that. When did that come to your mind of, hey, this is an opportunity for me to take this outside of just a visual post
Mhm.
and start putting it on things that may be able to generate some income?
So, when I first started doing events is when I started like realizing like like when I first started doing events, I started noticing that like my friend Rick, the one that initially got me into those shows, was doing events. Brian from Noah U, he was doing a couple events, and another friend Kim, and like I started seeing these friends, and I started seeing that that they had products. They
Yeah,
had products. They had some kind of a product, prints, whatever the case may be. Um, and so that was like my first like I guess inkling and like trying to be like, okay, cool, like how am I gonna like sell my stuff now? Like my artwork. Um, and yeah, like I mean, it's funny how like I've tried so many different products throughout the years, but the one thing, and I'm doing an event like right after this,
yeah,
and and it's an event where you could take minimal stuff, and what kills every time is a print and a sticker. Like just taking those two products, people will be like, okay, give me like so and so, give me this many, like whatever. I have like close at this point, have close to like 100 stickers, like different designs and a bunch of prints, and people will be like, give me four of those, prints of those four prints right there, whatever.
yeah,
Um, and it's funny because till this day, there is nothing more satisfying than having people buy your original work. For me, at least, for me personally,
yeah,
than like working with Tops or working with Ox or whatever. That's cool for like for to get other good paying, like high paying jobs, I guess you could say.
yeah,
But there's nothing better than like someone being like, oh, I really want to buy this like this sticker of like this like witch that you drew that has like she's not tied to any other thing. Like
right,
she's not like, a Star Wars drawing or something.
yeah,
When someone buys like an original piece, something that just came out of my brain, I'm just like, that's like the best to me. Now, when I was first starting, I wasn't thinking that way, but now
right.
I get a lot happier when someone buys something that I just came up with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think too that's for the audience, it's an opportunity that's not always thought about
Hmm.
right off the bat. And even when I'm working with a client that comes to me and they just need a logo designed or whatever,
Hmm.
like in my head, I'm instantly picturing, okay, what can we put this on? once we
Hmm.
get this created
Yeah.
so that you have potential passive
Mhm.
opportunity
Yeah.
for money to keep flowing in
Yeah.
for whatever that logo is actually meant for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the same way for artists too. If you're able to look at what you're doing and what your creative uh, vibe is, thinking of, all right, I can turn this into a sticker. I can turn this into a keychain. I can just
Hmm.
turn this into a postcard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turn this into a print, limited edition,
Hmm.
numbered, all these
Yeah.
different scenarios where you just start expanding your portfolio
Hmm.
into a product line that is literally your own.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody else has any tie to it that's
Yeah.
taking a piece out of it.
Yeah.
It's all your own.
Hmm.
Those are the things that help sustain the artist.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas, like we were talking earlier on, and you're facing that struggle of, okay, which field am I going to go into that's going to be sustainable? Because I just got told I can't do this one thing. It's not going to be viable. I need to go into graphic design.
Yeah.
Back to where you're at now, having all these different products, that's the thing that the creative community needs to be able to hear and see is that you can have this, you can have your career, do
Hmm.
what you love, do what inspires you,
Hmm.
and make money at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a matter of putting in that word.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And kind of like pushing yourself out of like a comfort zone, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Especially nowadays, I feel like right now times are really weird. Like times are really weird in the creative field with AI and all this stuff. Um, and I feel like I was just talking to like some buddies about it that are also artists. I feel like especially me, I typically, and since I was like younger, I always wanted my work to speak for itself.
yeah,
I never wanted to be in front of like a camera or sharing like me. I always wanted it to be my artwork.
right,
And much more so now, I think it's important that artist or whatever that you um like it's about you, it's about more you now than just your art.
right,
Because I mean, unfortunately nowadays you could get you could go and get yourself a drawing really quick by just typing it into like an AI thing and whatever. So now it's more so about the heart of the artist, more so about the wanting to support a real person, I guess, and if I don't know how someone's gonna do it by just staying behind the scenes always,
for
you know.
sure, for
So
sure. And yeah, that's great commentary for what's happening in the world right
yeah,
now. With this back and forth within the creative communities where
yeah.
AI is stepping in and doing a lot of stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's a scenario of, from my perspective, AI can be a great assistant,
Hmm.
but it cannot take the place of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's one thing that will always be able to rise to the top
yeah.
is you as an individual,
Hmm.
your particular style.
Yeah.
Because even I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it many times using AI where I'll put in a prompt for something just to get an inspiration idea,
Yep. Hmm.
and it'll literally give me an image that's got a signature in the corner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like, whoa, you just ripped off somebody's work
Yeah,
and
oh yeah. Uh-huh.
right?
And that's sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's
Um,
right.
that I think that's the only gripe I have with it
Yeah,
is it's here to stay. It's here. It's here.
yeah,
But the only thing that I think that they should figure out a way to regulate is that's fine. Create these programs, create the programs, but make sure that the database that it's using, it's by artists that maybe have put into the database,
right, right.
not people that have created stuff that are out in the world that didn't consent to have their work be used by these programs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the only real gripe I have. If you want to use the programs, fine, but have those be of artists that want to be a part of it or that have put into it or something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the discussion about ethics within AI community that needs to be, always brought
Yeah.
up,
Hmm.
is the fact that in order to continue using AI, it needs to be done ethically.
Yeah.
It needs to be done with regards to the creative individuals. Yeah, you can hire a bunch of developers that come in and just put in the information.
Yeah.
But if you're just pulling from everywhere, then
Yeah.
you're running into those legal issues, which,
Yeah.
that's a ongoing thing as we know it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the things that you're doing now, and you said you've got this event that you got to go to after this,
Hmm.
is your mindset still feeling as supported as you were growing up, or even more so at this point? Or do you still have those waves of, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or moving in the right direction?
For sure that
Sure.
I think for sure that especially now um like I think that before like lockdown and all that things were like in a upwards trajectory
Yeah.
and things were just like whether they were big things or little things and there have been like big things since then I guess but there was an upwards trajectory and I feel like um ever since then like after 2020
Mhm.
it's been like this like it's been like all over the place and there's been times where I'm like oh dude like what's
Yeah.
going on here you because once you think you get the hang of it something changes and you're like oh shoot what like what's going on here
Yeah.
uh 1 second you're getting all these commissions and then all of a sudden it drops
Yeah.
um and so I think that that's the way it always goes or not always goes but that's the way it goes in a creative field sometimes
Yeah.
so I don't think that like I'm unique to feeling that way um so yeah it definitely it just depends on the day sometimes I'm so like the one thing that I always tell like my friends that are also in the creative field is I can't imagine doing anything else
Yeah.
like meaning like and that's what they all say like they're like dang they're like can't imagine just like going to like a 9 to 5 and just being like miserable every day or whatever because I feel like no matter how easy the job would be or whatever I'd be freaking like oh I'd be miserable.
Yeah.
So
Are
yeah.
you saying that, because you mentioned this with talking about the AI thing of
Mhm.
keeping yourself visible and more visible, are
Mhm.
you saying that since the lockdown, the need to be able to go out and do these events so that you're keeping yourself visible
Oh
versus
yeah.
online, where
Oh yeah.
the algorithms change on a daily basis?
Yeah, and that's another thing that's been really frustrating too is there was like it's so funny to think is that a good at this point 10 years ago maybe even maybe 8 years ago 7 years ago I was getting like 600 likes on a post 700 likes on a post 1,000 likes on a post when I had 3,000 followers
Right,
and now I have close to 16 and I'll get 200 likes.
right.
And it's like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah,
And this is the thing that's so frustrating is that when you're not working for just like a company or something, I feel like being visible to people is the most important thing ever. Is to be visible, to come across people's Instagrams and all
yeah,
that, because that's how you get work. That's how you make sales. That's how you make your money. And so to me, it's like frustrating because that's the reason I post. It used to be that I would post something like let's say 2 years ago. And every time I would get a new lead to like a commission or something. Now I'll post something and barely anybody sees it. Or like
Yeah.
weeks later, somebody will be like, "Oh, I don't see your stuff anymore." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God." It's like, and it's crazy because with the internet and the way things work now, we have been brought away from like stores that are out in the world. We've been brought to social media
Yeah.
and now it's being controlled with these algorithms
Yeah.
and it's like hard to make them work for you sometimes, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a thing. It's that scenario of we saw what the shutdown of everything was like, and
yeah,
it made everybody kind of invisible. Um, and then once that was lifted, everybody was out.
yeah.
One of the main things where I saw was a huge increase real fast was concerts.
Oh yeah,
People were just like, "Oh my gosh, a concert where? Let me buy tickets. I gotta go." And I think that can be the same thing for artists as well. If
yeah,
they have enough ability or courage to um, get out and do what you're doing, going to
yeah,
an event, right? Setting
yeah,
up an event,
yeah,
letting people in real life see your stuff
yeah.
physically
Hmm.
versus digitally.
Yeah,
I think that there's an opportunity for that to grow again.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
And I think that if artists can see that and be willing to do it,
Yeah.
that can be the thing that helps them.
Yeah, like as a matter of fact, like 2 weeks ago, I did an event. I do them a couple times a month, and I did an event, and always have my QR code so they could like just scan it real quick and then follow me on Instagram. I got like over like close to 60 followers in just like that short time that I was there, and I was like. For whatever reason, my work resonated with those people and they wanted to continue to follow me. I know several people that are really great salesmen, right? Um, but I always say, I go, you know what? Like, I might not be the greatest salesperson, but the thing is that I don't want to make that sale. I don't want to make that one sale. I don't want to make the sale where they buy, I don't care, $100, $200 worth of stuff,
Yeah,
but I never see them again.
correct.
I want to make that sale that if they even, or they don't even make a sale, they don't even buy anything at that moment, but they want to support me, um, and follow me and follow my journey. At that event in particular, I didn't even notice. I saw so many people, but this guy comes over at the end. He's like, he saw me packing up, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm so sorry that we weren't able to come back." Because I'm assuming he had came over. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna come back and purchase some things."
Yeah,
But he made it a point to come over and he's like, "Hey," he goes, "I'm so sorry that we weren't able to come back, but I'd love to get your social media. And if you have an online shop, I'd love to buy from you." And to me, that was like, okay, cool. Like you genuinely like my work to where you want to buy something in the future or support me in the future somehow. And to me, I appreciate that a lot more than like just getting that one sale or whatever. That's not the point. The point is for someone to like be a fan of you for forever, you know?
right, right, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
because artists just instinctively are not really salespeople,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
We
Hmm.
just we like you said earlier too. You just want your work
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
do the selling. You want
Yep.
your visibility to be your work. Uh,
Yep.
so having to walk that fine line of trying to sell yourself versus letting
Hmm.
your work sell itself,
Yep.
that's always a scenario where it's a fine balance that you
Yep.
have to get
Exactly.
to.
I,
But yeah, this is the direction where I think things are going to need to go
yep.
for creatives to be able to see
Yeah.
what's out there, what the opportunities are,
Yeah.
and where we can get from there.
Yeah, and and to me, it's kind of it is a bummer because for like I said earlier, It's getting harder for me physically to be out here. And
Right.
luckily, I do have a lot of friends in the community that will help me in any way they can or whatever. Um, but um, I think it is important to do it as much as you can, as
Yeah.
much as you can. Um, Also, like I'm not giving up on the whole like social media
Yeah.
aspect of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still trying to figure it out, and I think that it's a constant evolving thing.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving. Um, so it's kind of like I have some friends that are like, I'm over social media. I'm done with it. I don't want, and I'm like, that's great and all, but it's gonna be a fact of life, and you cannot, if you want to be successful, you can't just say no to it. Like, there's not gonna be any way to be sustainable and not doing some form of social media, you know?
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, I mean that's the only way to like be seen by like the masses in somehow, some way. So
Exactly, exactly. One of the things you just touched on, and I want to bring this up to the forefront, is the fact that you have a good group of people and community around you that are helping you,
yeah.
and that will step in to help you,
Mhm.
especially like you said earlier on, as it's getting a little bit more difficult with your disability,
Yeah.
to do things.
Mhm.
How important is the community that surrounds you and or other creatives to keep them going?
For me, it was super important. It was something that I realized after my like that relationship that I mentioned earlier. I really realized that that's what I need personally. I need like a community, people that are like-minded and all that.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of stumbled upon this community that is very into and it's popular here in California, like the whole horror slash like
yeah,
spooky community. It's pretty big down here.
yeah,
I kind of and I'm not like that's not the only interest I have. It's not always like it's not the only one, but I kind of stumbled upon it, and I think it's important to build those connections and those yeah, connections because sometimes I'm the kind of person that's like I don't want to do an event. Like I just want to be home working. Um but I have my friends hitting me up. Hey, like, do this event. This event's coming up. Da, 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 sign up for this event. Da, 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 da. And they keep me motivated because if it was sometimes up to me, I would be like, I'm gonna skip it. Like, I'm not gonna do that. So, like today at the event that I'm doing, which is a very fun event, it gets packed. It's not that far from Disneyland down here. Um, and it gets packed on a Tuesday. Like that's crazy.
yeah,
Um but like I'll have a good like well, pretty much like every artist, vendor, whatever small shop that's there. I know everybody. Like I'll know almost all of them. So it's really cool. And I do think that that's whether it doesn't matter what workplace you work at. I think it's super important to be cool, have friends, be likable. You don't want to be that one person that's like, oh gosh, I don't want to be working with that dude. You know what I mean? So like it's important to build those relationships and that community. In my opinion, it's super important.
yeah. Very cool. That I think that's a great place for us to end
Okay.
this today, because community is important to surround artists and creatives. And I always want to end on a note of listen to your heart, as
Yeah.
Ray has through his full story here today, but also be kind to your mind.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.